You've probably seen that famous view from the top of Pulpit Rock, looking out over the Norwegian Fjords. But if you're short on time, or not quite up for the climb, a cruise along Lysefjord offers an equally stunning perspective, gazing up at its sheer cliffs. Today in this video, I'll show you our excursion to Lysefjord. And we'll also spend some time to stroll around Gamle Stavanger, the old town too. Are you ready for this adventure? Let's go! Well, good morning from Stavanger and welcome back. It's day 7 of our Norwegian Fjords cruise on Celebrity Apex, and we are back in a city that we already know and love. Last time, we tackled the famous hike to Pulpit Rock. This time, we're staying at sea level. But that doesn't mean we're missing out. This morning, we booked the 3-hour cruise through Lysefjord, a narrow waterway carved by glaciers, lined with vertical cliffs and hidden waterfalls. Well, it's still early in the morning, but we have just docked here at Stavanger, and Stavanger is already looking beautiful. We'll be checking it out later after the cruise. I do enjoy the view from our infamous veranda. You can see Viking Jupiter just coming in. The city is gonna be lively today with 2 cruise ships in port. So it looks like our sightseeing boat is coming into the harbour. So it's time for us to head ashore and join this other cruise. So we just got off Celebrity Apex and we are now going to look for the boat. So according to the ticket, the boat actually leaves from right here at the harbour, about a few minutes walk away from the ship. So it should be easy. So we just arrived at the meeting place for the Fjord cruise. It's got a lot of people queuing here already. And it's still 35 minutes before the actual departure time. But that's to be expected. Everyone wants to get a good seat. By the way, you can see just how close the sightseeing boat pier is. It's practically right next to where our ship is docked. Right, it's time to board our cruise. And here is our itinerary. We'll begin by sailing through the beautiful Stavanger archipelago before reaching the Lysefjord Bridge, the gateway to Lysefjord. From there, we'll get a close look at the legendary Vagabond's cave, then pass directly beneath the towering cliffs of Pulpit Rock. We'll also cruise close to a few waterfalls before making our way back to Stavanger. Lysefjord stretches 40 kilometers inland, and its name literally means light fjord, named after the pale granite cliffs that surround it. Some of these cliffs rises nearly 1,000 meters, and when you are down here on the water, you feel very small. The boat has now arrived at an interesting place, the Vagabond's cave. We're sailing into a small cove, and if you look closely to the left as you head in, you'll spot a narrow fissure in the rock, tucked deep into the cliffs. Many boats glide right past without realizing it's even there. The cave takes its name from vagabonds and outlaws who once hid there from the law. One local tale tells of a sheriff who rode into this narrow cove, sure he had trapped his suspects. But the fugitives had scrambled up the steep slope inside the cave and rained rocks down on him. Outmatched, the sheriff retreated, and the vagabonds slipped away. Now, here's one of those quirky highlights of this cruise: mountain goats on the fjord's slopes. On these cruises, you can very often spot these animals grazing and approaching the water's edge. They are surprisingly agile, capable of navigating sheer rock faces with impressive balance. Well, and there it is, Pulpit Rock. We hiked up there last time. It took 3 hours and probably 5 hours round trip and a lot of sweat. It was totally worth it though. But seeing from below here, like this, is just as breathtaking. The ledge up there is apparently 604 meters above us. Next, the boat edges right up to one of the many beautiful waterfalls of Lysefjord. Fed by snow melt and rain from the surrounding mountains, it plunges straight into the fjord. Even up close, it's hard to believe how clear the water is. If you find it's too windy to sit outside, then no problem, because you can come inside where you'll find comfortable seats and large panoramic windows for the views. So the boat has some light refreshment and snacks as well, and there's a coffee machine too. Well, the boat is now making a stop at 4 cents. We did this before. If you bought a cruise and hike ticket, they have a shuttle bus here waiting for you and will take you to the car park for Pulpit Rock. Then you can do the hike. That's a great way to combine Lysefjord cruise with a hike up to Pulpit Rock. For cruise passengers, unless your set sail time is really late in the evening, I don't really recommend doing that because you could easily miss your cruise. So we have just dropped the passengers off who are about to go on the hike, and the bus is actually departing already. And now we're gonna cross the Lysefjord bridge and head back to Stavanger. Right, we're back at Stavanger, and there's still time before sail away. In fact, quite a few hours. Tempting as it is to grab a coffee in town, we're actually gonna head back on board for lunch because it's included in the fare, and it's really welcome in Norway, where even sandwiches can cost you a small fortune. Yeah, so let's go get lunch. Well, we just had lunch and we still got some time left, so we're gonna explore Stavanger a little bit. Stavanger might be small, but it's full of charm. Just steps from the harbour is Gamle Stavanger, the old town. Over 170 white wooden houses from the 1700s and 1800s are beautifully preserved and still in use and being lived in today.
So standing here looking around, it really reminds me of the old town of Hastings. Small houses, all uniformly painted, very well looked after. It's really pretty. In fact, it's so pretty it almost looks like a film set.
Indeed, right? But this is real life. quiet lanes, painted doors, roses in window boxes. This is probably one of my favorite corners in Stavanger. Throughout Stavanger, you will find this art installation by Anthony Gamle called Broken Column. This city-wide sculpture project consists of 23 identical cast iron figures, each 1.95 meters tall, and is based on the cast of the artist's own body. It's installed here in 2003, and they are strategically placed throughout Stavanger in public. Look at this massive monumental sculpture. This is the Maritime Monument, and it pays homage to Norway's deep-rooted maritime culture. From here, you get a panoramic view across the harbour. Stavanger is full of public sculptures scattered around the city, but this one really caught my eye. It's only here for the summer, apparently. At first glance, it looks like an ancient Assyrian guardian with wings and a powerful stance. I'm sure I've seen something like that in the British Museum. But look closer and you realize it's actually made out of bright, shiny metal packaging, all rolled and pieced together. Now, this is a surprise. Ove Homer Gate. Locals call it Fargegata, which means color street. Every house is painted differently, and everyone more vivid than the last. All the cafes, shops here has a laid-back energy, and there are lots of very Instagram-happy tourists around. Well, over here, there is the Norwegian Oil Museum. It might sound quite boring, but we actually visited it many years ago when we were here, and it's actually somewhat fascinating. So if you have lots of time, do consider this attraction. But even if you don't visit the museum, you can actually check out all this interesting stuff around on the outside. Here, there is a part of a pipeline. It's very interesting. If you have been enjoying this video of our time in Stavanger, please boop the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. This way, you'll be notified whenever I release new video. And just before heading back to the ship, you can stop by Stavanger Cathedral. This is Norway's oldest cathedral and is still in daily use, dating back to the early 1100s. It was originally built by an English bishop, which explained the different architectural touches, parts Romanesque and parts Gothic. It's free to enter and it's just a 2-minute walk from the harbour. It's a perfect final stop before sail away. After getting back on board, I headed up to one of the whirlpools for a bit of relaxation. The ship started sailing away, but I didn't bother filming this time, as we have already seen those views earlier on our Lysefjord cruise. We went down to the main dining room fairly early for dinner, and we have really been looking forward to this. It's the lobster night. The tails were brought out plated, and then a waiter actually came round to deshell them in front of us, which I thought was a really nice touch. I haven't seen that done on other cruise lines before. Overall, the food on Celebrity has really impressed us. It's definitely a step up from other similar lines like Princess. Another area that surprised us was the entertainment. Tonight's main production show was Rockumentary, which I loved because it's covered rock hits from different decades. So no matter your age, you'll have something to sing along to. After that, we went to the club for some drinks and karaoke. It's hard to feel the rush, to push the dangerous. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm heading on a moment with you. And I'm sure before we kiss the other side tonight, yeah baby, tonight, yeah baby, I'm gonna run right to the edge with you, where we can both fall in love. I'm on the edge of glory, edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory.
Give it up for Ken, everyone, singing "On the Edge of Glory," Lady Gaga. Well done, Ken.
So after karaoke, we are back into Eden for Night of Dreams.
It's who? And now that I think of it, who are you?
It's a more immersive style of performance, and to be honest, it's not really our cup of tea. So we slipped out and caught the end of the ABBA sing-along and dance party back in the club. What a night and what a day it has been, with so many different experiences both ashore and on board. I hope you've enjoyed coming along for the journey as much as we've enjoyed sharing it. If you've missed our earlier videos from this Norway cruise, you can click on one of these to catch up. I'll see you over there. Ciao!